Welcome to Trash the Past, Crown the Queen. I'm your host, Whitney Morgan Ward, and this is your soul's rebirth. You came here to break the cycle, to burn the stories that told you to stay small. It's time to reclaim your power. What are you waiting for? Let's crown the queen. If you've ever felt guilty for choosing yourself, scared to set a boundary, or not sure if you are allowed to protect your peace, this episode is your initiation. The fear, burn it. The guilt, trash it. Because the moment that you set a boundary, you protect your energy. Because the moment that you set a boundary, you don't just protect your peace, you also crown the queen. Welcome back to Trash the Past and Crown the Queen. I'm your host, Whitney Morgan Ward. Wherever you're at on this planet, thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to get into this episode with you guys today. It is going to really give you the power and the clarity to set boundaries, because when you don't have boundaries in your life, you are leaking your energy. You are giving yourself away when you know that you shouldn't. So today we're going to end that. You're going to get tools. We're going to talk about some fears that come up, why we don't set boundaries, and we're going to clear that away so we can set boundaries in our life and actually manifest the lives that we want. So thank you guys. If you've ever felt guilty or afraid to set a boundary, I am here to tell you that is only an illusion. The fear is a lie, and you simply do not need to do that anymore. Because I think that by 2025, we are all aware that people pleasing isn't getting us to where we want to be, and not setting boundaries is actually destroying our feminine energy and the lives that we want to create. So I want to get into story time because I think it's important to tell you guys why this is coming up. You guys know week by week, I come to you with like what I'm going through, the things I've overcome, the reflections I'm seeing, and all the things that I deal with on my own daily basis, and how to help you transform it so that you don't have to go through all the things I go through. And also so we can get through these things quicker. Like we want to collapse time, quantum leap, and actually get to where we want to go much, much quicker. A few episodes ago, I don't know how many, maybe like 6, I talked about a guy that I was talking to and he didn't have intentions with me. That relationship was really mind-opening to me. And I actually dealt with like a lot of feelings and emotions in that relationship, to be honest, because I kind of felt like I had given away my energy and not protected it. And I have worked so hard on creating this version of me, being aware, being conscious, and really like understanding what's going on, reading the signs, and being like a better whole person. And that relationship was just a big, gigantic reflection of that I still wasn't 100% there yet. Now, do I believe that we're always 100% there or ever will be 100% there? I don't know. But what I could tell you is we could get pretty damn close. So in this relationship, there were so many reflections. After that episode where I told you guys kind of spilled the tea on that, if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it because it's going to like set up for this episode. But we ended up still being friends, and I was fine with that. But like, obviously it was completely different. And I was at a place where I was like, never again will I have a relationship like with this person aside from just being friends, because that was what I knew internally. Like so many things just happened that I was like, okay, this was cool. Like I learned a lot, but like we're just friends and I'm good with that. So this is the story. You guys ready for the tea? So I have been just like, I haven't been seeing him. I think I've seen him a couple of times. We still talk on Instagram. He would call me occasionally, you know, whatever. Well, about 2 weeks ago, I was on my hot girl walk. I just posted a story on Instagram asking people like, do you guys do hot girl walk? And I'm like walking with my dogs and I'm listening to a podcast. I was like super high vibes, just in my own energy, like on my hot girl walk. We were messaging on Instagram, and obviously messaging on Instagram wasn't enough for this particular person. And so I end up getting a phone call. Well, I am a recovering people pleaser. And so I end up answering it. But I will say I did not want to talk to him. Like I was literally I was in my zone, right? But I was still in my people pleasing and I felt bad. Like, and obviously we were just messaging on Instagram. So like, how am I going to blatantly ignore your call? Like I was literally messaging him back and I got the phone call. Right. So of course, instead of ignoring him and being like, hey, like I'm busy, I answered the call and I immediately felt like kind of annoyed, right? Like you are intruding on my hot girl walk. I guess he didn't know I was on a hot girl walk, whatever. And he's like, oh, we were messaging. I figured I'd just call you and blah, 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 blah. So we talk. And so about 20 minutes into the conversation, I literally felt myself annoyed. And I started having an inner dialogue with myself why I'm having a conversation with him, just being like, Whitney, what are you doing? You don't want to talk to him. And here you are, not being honest with yourself and still answering the phone, still giving away your energy when it doesn't feel aligned. And like, what are you doing? In that moment, I literally felt like a veil was lifted and I had seen the illusion being lifted of I am still a people pleaser. I am still going against the way that I feel because I feel bad. I am still going against the things that I don't want to do because I don't know. I guess I feel bad. I feel like I owe this person something and like I need to answer their phone calls, But like this is what I'm saying and this is what I want to get through your head is that you don't owe anyone anything. And the sooner that you stop people pleasing and the sooner that you set boundaries for yourself, the sooner you are going to stop leaking out your energy to people that it doesn't belong to. It doesn't deserve, not even deserve. It just doesn't belong to them. So stop leaking your energy. Stop giving your energy away to people when you know you don't want to give it to them. You don't want to talk to them. You don't want to go out. You don't want to go drinking. You don't want to go do the things that people want you to do. Like if you don't want to do it, say no. Because what I have learned is that when you give your energy away to someone and it's not supposed to be given to them, they are taking your life force. They are literally taking your energy and you are giving it to them freely. Okay, that's the thing you have to understand. When you allow people to have your energy, you're giving it to them freely. So if you do not want them to have your energy, then you simply say no. You simply don't answer. You simply don't respond. You don't owe anyone anything. Okay? Like get that through your head because feminine energy, you need to stand in it and protect it. It is yours. And everyone wants your feminine energy, but they do not all deserve it. They do not all get inside of your castle. You need to start to see yourself as a queen and stop letting everyone in your castle. Do you know that people do not just walk into castles? They have knights. They have guards. They have people that protect it. You protect your house, your castle. It's your responsibility. And this is what I learned in this situation, okay? So we end up I was like, okay, well, I gotta go. Like I'm on my walk, whatever. And then I just had a conversation with myself. I'm like, Whitney, enough is enough. And I talked to my friends about this. I had a couple of girlfriends that I talked to and I was like, I'm just I don't feel good about being friends. I just need to let this go. I didn't feel good when we got back from the vacation and I don't feel good now. I just don't feel like we need to be friends. What's the point? What's the point of trying to be friends with someone when you've already had like really weird things happen and you know it's not in alignment, and then you're trying to be friends because they want to be friends. Of course they want to be your friend. Of course, you're amazing. You're on fire. You've got it. You're secure. You're confident. Of course they want to be your friend. But do you want to be their friend? That is the question. And if it's a no, then it's a no. You don't owe them an explanation. Well, the next day, I got another call. And my phone had fallen in my car and I couldn't find it. And I thought it was someone else, and it wasn't. And it was this person. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not calling them back. And this is like the first time that I think I'd never called back. Then I get a text message and I don't respond because I'm just like, I want to send a new signal that like, I'm not available all the time. Like I'm not available, and like this just is not what I feel, and I already expressed that I didn't feel in alignment. And so I'm like, okay, maybe they're going to get the picture. That's not what happened. So then the next day I get a call and a text and I don't respond. So the next day goes by and I don't hear from them. No Instagram, no nothing. And I was like, cool, maybe they got the picture. Well, then I end up there was a very famous guy in the spiritual community that came out with a story that a lot of people were not happy about. And I'm not going to get into that in this episode, but I'll probably talk about it later. But I had been always telling my friend, let's call him my friend, that there was something about this famous spiritual guy that I just didn't feel right about. Like there was something about his energy that felt dark, that felt off. And so then when it came out that this weird thing had happened with him, I ended up sending it to my friend. And I'm like, hey, remember when I told you like I didn't feel right? Here it is. My intuition's right. So again, your intuition's right. So that was my mistake. I should have just not said anything to him because that opened a whole can of worms. And I ended up getting messages and messages and messages and blah, blah, blah. And then my phone rings and I'm like, I'm not answering it. And so I didn't answer it. Then I get a text message and I don't respond. And at this point, I didn't respond on Instagram because I wasn't even really like trying to have a conversation. I just was like, hey, like, remember when we talked about this? Like, here it is. Don't know if you saw this, but I was right. And so I was talking to my friends and they're like, you should just tell him. And I'm like, this is the thing. Why do we have to explain ourselves when I've already explained that I don't feel in alignment? Like if you're calling and texting someone and they're not responding after you've already had a relationship with them, like, don't you think that they get the signal? I feel like, let me know in the comments what you think, because I would feel like someone would get the signal. If that was me, which that's not me because I don't chase anymore, I would feel like, okay, they're like tired of me. Okay. No, that's not what happened. It just kept going and going and going. So I ignored it now. This is 3 phone calls, like a bunch of texts, messages on Instagram. Finally, the next morning I wake up and I had this like insane dream also, which I wonder if I should tell you guys about the dream. But anyway, listen to your dreams because your dreams are like giving you signs, and like decode them because your dreams are trying to tell you like what to do in your life, right? So I have this dream of like letting go. Okay, let's just leave it at that. It was like a dream of letting go. I wake up, check my phone, and he had sent me a text message. And basically, like, I don't know what you want me to do to support you or not, but I'm here for you and whatever. And I'm like, at this point, I decided I need to say something because I don't want to have animosity, but I also don't feel like I need to explain anything. And if I'm not responding and you keep coming at me, you're clearly not understanding the message that I'm trying to send you. So I end up telling him that like after we tried to be friends, I just don't feel like I want to be friends anymore. Like I just don't feel good about it. Like I want to move on and that's it. And he basically was like, did anything happen? And I'm like, no, I'm ready to move on. And nothing happened. Like this is the honest truth. Like it was just like my energy is trying to move on and I'm like being held back by this old relationship, this old past that is just not in alignment anymore. Now, do I owe him an explanation? No, but I felt like I needed to tell him like I'm done because the chasing, it felt like chasing, and I'm like, I don't want to be chased. Like, I don't want to be chased. I just want you to respect my boundary and realize that I don't want to continue to talk. And so finally, I left it at that. And I can tell you that when I told him, I felt so much better. And I was kind of annoyed that I had to tell him, but it just is what it is. And you guys can let me know in the comments if you feel like you owe these people explanations. But like the thing was I was fine to like chat here and there. I was fine to like, message on Instagram. But when we're messaging on Instagram and that's not enough for you and you need to call me, that's where the boundary is being crossed, because we are not like friends of the opposite sex don't just like text on Instagram and then call each other because you're texting, like unless you're trying to make plans or whatever, but that's not what was happening, right? And so when I was able to just let him know, like, this is too much, the calls, the texts, the Instagram, like it's not aligned with me anymore. I don't want to deal with it. Like it just doesn't feel good to me anymore. That was when I really felt like free. Okay. And I haven't heard from him since, and that's it. And I just feel so much better. But also, like, when you set boundaries, you're setting them for you. You're not setting them because you're trying to hurt other people or you're trying to, prove a point. You're just saying, like, listen, this situation doesn't feel good to me anymore. It's the same with drinking alcohol. I set boundaries to not drink alcohol anymore. Can I go out and hang out with people that drink? Absolutely. Does it affect me? No. Do I drink it? No, that's my personal boundary. What you do with your life is your life. But personally, I don't drink. When it comes to past relationships, when you've tried to be in a relationship and it doesn't work out, I don't know any of my exes. I'm not friends with any of them. So why would this one be different? It's not. But I kept ignoring the way I felt, and I kept just giving into the other side because they wanted to be friends and they wanted to just like, of course they wanted to be friends. But finally, after like 6 weeks of this, I cut it off because I literally woke up. It was like the veil was lifted. Think about boundaries being your energetic fences that protects your feminine energy. Okay. So now we're going to get into why some people feel guilty, but why the guilt that you feel is only an illusion. Okay, it's really important that you realize the guilt that you feel is an illusion, because we think that setting boundaries makes us mean. We think that saying no is like the selfish thing. And we think by protecting our peace will make people leave us. But all of this is not truth. And all of this is going to keep you stuck in a loop. It's going to keep you stuck in a cycle. And internally, you need to set boundaries. You know that you need to cut the friends off, end the relationship, stop with the abusive habits and all the things that you're doing. But you are not setting boundaries for you because you don't trust yourself enough. But what I can tell you is that when you start to set boundaries, you are going to have so much self-trust and so much freedom that you are going to want to tell other people how important boundaries are, because boundaries are so essential. But we have not really learned this. We have heard you become like the people you hang out with. That is fact. So the guilt that you feel is the conditioning. It's not the truth. It's the programming that we've all been so deeply programmed into, but it's not the truth. Because you have to protect your peace. And if you're not willing to set boundaries, if you're not willing to protect your peace, again, you're going to keep yourself stuck in a loop, and you're the only one doing it. Because when you do tell people, this is my boundary, those people either respect it or not. And if they don't respect it, block them. Literally. Because if someone is not, most people, when you block them, they're going to leave you alone. There's few people that go a little bit further. That happened to me in my life. You can get restraining orders. There are other things that you might need to do depending on the situation at hand. But for the most part, when you tell someone like, hey, I need to set boundaries. This is my boundary. I don't want to talk to you anymore for whatever reason you're going through that. That is your right as a human being. You don't owe people yourself, your energy, any of it. And the conditioning that we've all been programmed so deeply into is to ignore that and to just let people take our energy, let people treat us however they want. But again, that is not truth. That is not how you should be living your life. You should be living your life listening to your intuition, listening to your gut feelings, listening to your nervous system, and honoring it. Because if you do not honor it, what are you doing? You're in a loop. You're in a cycle, stuck with someone or situations that are not serving you, that are not aligned for you, that are not meant for you. And then the fear that you feel in setting boundaries is the little girl in you that thought love had to be earned. No. We reject that. We need to stop accepting these things in life that are not the truth of who we are. Because again, you are sacred. You're a castle, and you need to treat yourself as a temple, as a castle, as a queen. Stop letting fear and other people and their opinions and worrying about what they're going to think of you affect the way that you treat yourself, your life, and your mission on this planet. Because again, if you do not break the cycle and break the loop and you do not set boundaries, you are staying stuck and you are doing that to yourself. That person is not doing it to you. That guy was not doing it to me. I was doing it. I was allowing it. And once I said no, he respected it and went away. And that is the truth. And it has nothing to do with hurting people. It has to do with the fact that you are hurting yourself when you are not being truthful to you. You are also blocking yourself from everything that the universe and God wants to bring you. But when you are still entertaining something that's not in alignment, you're blocking yourself. It's you doing it, not them. You need to say to yourself, this is my castle, and not everyone gets in. Very few people. As you start to rise, your circle gets smaller. This is fact. Boundaries are self-respect in action, okay? In action. Don't forget that. Okay, so now I'm going to give you guys tools to actually have boundaries. We're going to have 5. Number 1 is the mirror test. If it drains you, it's time to set a boundary around it. Again, I did this when it came to alcohol. As I was awakening and I was really on my journey and I was really going on my life path and I was just very serious about it. There was a day that I woke up after I had partied all night and I had really negative thoughts. I felt horrible. I was spiraling in my mind. And I realized in that moment, this is literally draining my life force. And that was when I set the boundary. I'm like, I've got to quit drinking. Quit. Because I'm just an all or nothing type of person. So it's hard for me to do something here and there. Personally, that's just me. But that was when I had to set the boundary around alcohol for me. So if it drains you and takes your energy, it's time to set a boundary around it. So figure out, journal through this. What's the boundary with whatever situation you're facing? What do I need to do so that my energy is not being drained with this situation? And then stick to it. No matter what it takes. It's going to be hard at first, probably, but I'm telling you, this is where your freedom lies. And you are going to be so happy that you did it. Number 2, body over brain. Listen to your body when you are hanging out with someone, when you are doing something. If your body is screaming no, your nervous system is like spiking. I don't know, for a long time, I had heard about nervous system, but I didn't really understand what it meant. You know that your nervous system, because your nervous system is like your tree, okay? So it's like when your nervous system is speaking to you, it feels like sparks are like bam out. And you have these like shoots of, this is how it is for me, shoots of like, you get really hot and it's like your body like bing, but it's not like a good energetic. It's like a very intense spike of energy throughout your body. If you're doing something or with someone and that starts happening to you, your body is saying no. So if you are saying yes and you're speaking yes, you are literally betraying yourself. So start to your body is a communication device. What is your body speaking to you? Honor it. Because I didn't honor it. And I'm telling you right now, it's better to just let it go. Let them go. Let them stop with whatever you're doing, with whatever is going on. Let it go, because the sooner that you stop betraying yourself, the sooner you are going to start manifesting the things that you want. The sooner that you are going to become a magnet for your desires, but you cannot manifest when your nervous system is freaking out. This is just fact. When your nervous system's freaking out, you are repelling, you're shooting energy, repelling, instead of at a neutral state where you can receive. Okay? Pre-decide. You are the one that gets to control the situations. People are not controlling you. You have the power. Use your voice. Decide what you want. And if someone is not in alignment with you, just tell them, I am not in a place where I can give my energy to this. Please respect it. And that's it. No explanation. If they're like, why? You do not owe them an explanation. Period. And if someone does this to you, don't demand them to give you an explanation. Say, much love, peace, love, and wubs. Let them go and give people, that's it. This does not, I don't feel good in giving my energy to this anymore. Please respect that. Much love. There's so much power in this. So much power. The inner, listen to that. That is your higher self, your body giving you a signal that it's not in alignment. Listen. You don't need to go to every party. You don't need to go do everything. You don't need to be the yes girl. I used to be the yes girl. I used to say yes to everything. And then I decided that it doesn't feel good to be the yes girl. People don't respect it. You know what people respect? When you do say you're going to go to something because you actually want to go, then you show up. Main character energy. But when you don't want to show up and you say yes, you are betraying yourself. So stop doing that. If someone invites you or a guy wants to ask you out and you feel like, no, I can't go to that. I'm not going to that. Why? I don't feel like it. Oh, please. No. And sometimes you might need to be like, no, put your foot down. I don't feel like going. I'm not going. That's it. People respect that. And then next time they ask you and you say no, they're going to respect it. So then when you say yes, yeah, let's go. They're going to be excited because they know you're going to show up. You're not going to be flaky. I can't stand flaky people. When people say yes, but then they don't show up, why? Why can't you just say no? Why can't you just say no? If you get invited to something that's like weeks out, you could literally say, as of right now, I'm down to go, but I don't know what I'm going to be feeling as it gets closer. So I'll keep you posted, but I'm not sure if I'm going to make it yet. Visualize your queendom. I want you to picture your energy as being a sacred space. When you say yes to someone or something, but you do not mean yes, you mean no, you are allowing those people or those situations to literally track mud into your castle. Okay? Because what they're doing is they're taking your energy. That's like tracking mud in your temple, leaving you with dirty energy or no energy. So visualize your queendom and really, really, really start to realize that your energy is everything. And you do not want it to be muddy or to be like taken from you. You need your energetic field to be sacred and lit up how you want it to be, how it feels good to you. Boundaries does this. Boundaries is the thing that you are missing that is going to give you the freedom and the life that you want. So I'm going to end it with this. Boundaries are not a loss. Boundaries are not rejection. They are not cruelty. They are self-respect. Boundaries are your power. So how you crown the queen, if you need permission, here it is. Trash the guilt, trash the people pleasing, and crown the queen. You are worth it. You are worthy. And everything that you desire, your higher self is trying to signal to you and give you the tools that you need. And that is by not feeling the guilt, not giving into it, and not people pleasing. Okay. So guys, if this episode hit you, send it to one of your soul sisters, share this, let me know in the comments what your favorite part is. And I love you guys so much. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram, Whitney M Ward _. Let me know in the link in my bio on Instagram. I have my Glow Code course, my Glow Code Masterclass, and one-on-one coaching. If you really want to expedite your spiritual awakening, if you really want more one-to-one coaching, I got you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. And as always, 5, 6, 7, 8, let's go.